Hey everybody, welcome to the Tom Parsley channel. I'm Tom, and just like Parsley, we get into a little bit of everything. So what are we doing today, and where are we today? Today, see the building behind me over here, and the building over there behind me? So we are at the end of the Connetquot River. We're at the, I guess the headquarters of the historical Southside Sportsman's Club that was a rod and gun club for the elite back in the late 1800s. Before this became a state park. This is a state park, and right behind me is the Connetquot River. Sorry I sound a little nasally. I'm just kind of getting over a cold. So it's early January 2026, and we're going to do another dam tour. We're going to do another river dam tour because the main branch of the Connetquot River, which is right behind me, remember Connetquot from the Algonquin translates to Great River. So upriver here, we did another video on the fish hatchery. I'll link that here or wherever it ends up. And now we're down, way downstream. And I don't know if you can hear, but in the background over here is a main highway. Sunrise Highway is behind us. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Connetquot River as it flows down, some of the dams that will impede fish moving up. Remember, we called those diadromous fish that go freshwater, saltwater, saltwater, freshwater to either spawn or live or either or. So we're going to investigate what the impediments are, how it could help if there was a fish ladder. And there are actually three main waterways here. We're on the main Connetquot River right here. Over there, for lack of a better word, is the East Brook, and that flows under Sunrise Highway, and that becomes a little fishing parking area called Rattlesnake Brook. And then the Connetquot River flows under Sunrise Highway and ends at another little fishing parking area called Bubbles Falls. And then behind us over here is the West Brook. Now, something interesting happened in the West Brook. We're going to talk about that separately, but the dam gave way a couple of years ago at the West Brook, and it's now a free-flowing creek from mouth to the end. So let me turn you around, take a little panoramic of this little impoundment over here, and then behind us over here is a dam where it used to house a grist mill. So let me turn you around and give you a 360 here. So this is all Connetquot River that's been impounded. You could see some of the buildings that were from the Southside Sportsman's Club. This is kind of the inn, the lodge, where the people would stay when they came here. I'm going to try not to get the sun in. That building right over there is what's left of the grist mill. The wheel is gone, but the dam is still there. The dam is kind of like right over there. We're going to walk over there in a minute. Then it flows down. Try to not get the sun in. And then it flows down that way. That's Bubbles Falls. Sunrise Highway is over there. It's pretty busy now, and West Brook is over there, and East Brook is over there. So let's go check out the dam by the grist mill. All right, there's the grist mill behind me over here, and there's no railing over here, so I'm going to try not to back up and fall in. Although, as I always say, that would make great content if I fall in, especially when it's a little chilly out today. So I'm going to put one hand on the railing so I don't fall in. But right over here is the dam where the water wheel would have been for a grist mill. Now, what's a grist mill? A grist mill, rather than a sawmill, yeah, I guess you could call it a flour mill, because a grist mill would grind grain. There's an old millstone on display up over there, but the power of the falling water, because it's free, you impound it, you make a dam, the water falls, and it turns the wheel, and in turn the wheel turns a bunch of other mechanisms to turn that millstone to grind flour, to grind corn, to grind any kind of grain, sawmill to turn a blade, paper mill, and even up in Niagara Falls in western New York, you take that falling water, turns a water wheel, which then turns a turbine, which connects to a magnet, which then makes electricity. So you can make electricity from falling water. So let's take a closer look at the dam over here and see. We were talking about the fish. So fish can come all the way up over here. I'm pretty sure there's no impediment over by Sunrise Highway, but we're going to go over there and take a look a little bit later. And the fish could come all the way up over here, but once they hit that dam right over there, that's it. They can't go up that, it's too high. So there definitely needs to be a fish ladder over here. And maybe there will be one at some point. I don't know. I know that the two major environmental organizations on Long Island, Seatuck Environmental Association and Save the Great South Bay, I'll put their links down below, are working to install fish ladders on all of these rivers on Long Island that flow south and flow north. We haven't looked at the northern rivers yet, but we will in a subsequent video. That will open up to those diadromous fish. Most importantly, the alewives, which is a herring. It's only about this big, maybe about the size of my hand, about that big. Which is, we talked about food chains in the last video. The alewives are an important component of the food chain that would be this entire area. Would feed the ospreys, would feed the eagles, coyotes, which eventually they're going to end up here, and the bigger fish, the striped bass and the bluefish, which we all like to eat. So we're the apex predators too. So let's take a look at that. Some pretty fast moving water. I don't know if you could hear it, but it's pretty loud from where I am. But my microphone is pretty good at just picking up my audio, so it might just be background noise. But let me turn you around so we get a closer look at the dam here. So I'm not sure exactly where the water wheel would have been, but all of that water, you can kind of see the level of the river, impounded river up over there, and then it just kind of falls down to here, and it can be controlled by these little tracks over here. You can put pieces of wood in there and it'll impound the water even more, so more water will back up over there, or you let more water out. So I don't know where the wheel would have been. I imagine it would have been somewhere close by. I'm not exactly sure, but it flows. Connetquot River flows all the way down, and then all the way over there is Sunrise Highway. So let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on Sunrise Highway over there, and you'll be able to see the cars going back and forth over there. And we're going to eventually end up over there because there's a fishing area over there. But let's come around to the other side of the grist mill and take a look at the millstone. Do a little upstream, downstream. Swanny swan. Watch out for those swans, especially when they're nesting. Look, he thinks I have food. He's coming over here. No, exactly. No, I don't have food. Go away. Swans are nasty, especially when they're nesting. So be wary of swans. But there's a whole bunch of other, I don't have my binoculars, but there's a whole bunch of other waterfowls out over here. Good day for birding and ducks. But this is upstream, so it's going under the dam over here. And then the dam is right over here. So let's walk over and take a look at it. It flows under this road here. And there it is. So it's flowing right out through there, going right down. I'd say it's falling about 6 feet or so. There's no way a fish can come up this way. So we need a fish ladder somewhere around here. So it would be nice if we could put one, over there, or, connecting over here, over there, or over there, over there. But we got to get the funding. We got to get the legislation to put a fish ladder in. Hey, be quiet over there. Duck was just telling me, adding something over here. All right, let's go take a look at that millstone. So here's that millstone I was talking about. These grooves, there was another millstone that went on top of it that was a mirror image of this. Or maybe it wasn't a mirror image. Maybe it was just so the grooves would fit in here. I'm not exactly sure, but they would turn, and as they turn, the milled grain would come out here. The whole grain would go in here, and it would come out here. And I'll just give you a little 360 around here so you could kind of see these signage that we've got here. You can pause if you want. I'll try to stop around here. Give you a little history of the grist mill here. A little history of the park also, a little history of the South Side Sportsman's Club, and a little bit of a cutaway of the mill and how it worked. So the grist mill is right over here. We've also got some old machinery that's kind of sitting around. So they're in the process of doing some renovations on the grist mill, and these houses are sometimes open for tours. And I've been inside these houses, and they are gorgeous. Talk about Gilded Age. You know, you think this was just a hunting club or a hunting fishing lodge, but the inside is gorgeous. Mahogany, brass, they're really pretty. So if you get a chance to come here and tour these buildings, definitely take a chance to see. This park is open 6 days a week. It's only closed on Mondays. You can't get in here. You could walk in here because the Greenbelt Trail comes through here, but you can't drive in and park here. And the fish hatchery is way upriver over here. You could walk to the fish hatchery from here. It's about, I want to say 1 or 2 mile, maybe 3 mile walk. But again, I'll link that video. I linked it before. I'll put it in the description too. My video of the fish hatchery that's just upriver here, where they raise rainbow trout, brown trout, which are not native to New York State, and are native brook trout. And trout are diadromous species where they will return to fresh water to spawn. But as you saw, that dam over there, they're not getting past the dam. They can go out, but they can't come back. So let's continue down. Let's give you a little history of Connetquot State Park Preserves, a little infographic here. You can pause it and read it if you want. And there's all the information on the history of Connetquot River State Park Preserve. As I'm walking down through here, noticed a, what do you call a group of geese? If you know what you call a group of geese, put it down in the comments. Did you get it? It's a gaggle of geese. And these are Canada geese. Luckily, they don't have any nests to protect, or else they would be attacking me right now. And there's some deer out in the back over there. Let me turn you around. So as I'm walking, they're kind of moving around, but they're eating the grass. Then we got 2 white-tailed deer right in the back over there. This park also has a fair amount of turkeys, also wild turkeys. So, and hey, there's one turkey right here. So here's a conifer. Who remembers how we can identify conifers? Anybody remember? Put it down in the comments if you remember. Spruces are square and spiky, firs are flat, and pines are in packets. So if you look here at the individual pine needle here, that pine needle is in a group of about, what are these? 3 groups of 3. I don't remember the name of this pine tree. I think it's a black pine. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty big. And there's poison ivy growing up it, which the Parks Department thankfully cut. And look here, we got a trail blaze. So this is the trail blaze of the Greenbelt Trail. So I know that I'm on the Greenbelt Trail, and I just have to look for another white blaze to follow. I know where it is because I came from there, but we're gonna, there it is, it's all the way down in the distance over there, I could see it. So we're gonna continue, and we're gonna head back to the Connetquot River, Bubbles Falls. We're gonna look at Westbrook, and what was left of Westbrook Pond, and then for lack of a better word, we'll take a look at Eastbrook, and we'll see how these river ecosystems work. And the dams, those dams, they're in the way of those diadromous fish. So we want those dams to, or a fish ladder, or the dam's gone, to allow the fish to free flow back and forth. And there's a deer over there looking at me. So, all right, let's keep finding cool stuff. So I gotta stop every time I see it. See that? Looks like milk duds, right? Let me zoom in a little bit. Those aren't milk duds. That's deer poop. That's what white-tailed deer poop looks like. So if you're wondering what white-tailed deer poop looks like, there it is right there. And when they get really, really big, those are the bucks. The males drop really big, big loads. So this is, and there's lots of them. There's another pile over there. And once you start being able to recognize it, you'll be able to spot it here, there, and everywhere. Okay, so we just left the main branch of the Connetquot River right at the grist mill, and we're right on Sunrise Highway, so the road noise is going to be pretty intense. So hopefully my microphone is cutting down some of the road noise. But we're also, just to give you a little bit of background, we're also here at the infamous Sunrise Highway Oakdale merge, because the Southern State Parkway merges with Sunrise Highway right over here, and at rush hour, oh, the traffic is so bad. So they are trying to figure out a way to redo the merge over here Probably won't happen for another 10 or 20 years, but the traffic, it starts building at like 3 o'clock, and if you try to get through here at like 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, forget it. You're in bumper-to-bumper traffic. So this little fishing area, when they originally put the merge in, I don't know, 10 or 30 years ago or something, this was built by the Department of Transportation. It's a little fishing parking area, and Rattlesnake Brook over here. This is called Bubbles Falls. So we've got some fishermen across from me over here, so I don't want to kind of get them in the view here. But let's see the main branch of the Connetquot River over here. Let me turn you around. So that little booth over there is a gauging station for the U.S. Geological Survey. And here's the dam over here. It's not very big. And again, it's low tide. So you can see the kind of the mud over there. There's some fishermen over there. I don't want to get them in view here. But the trout can easily cross over. But the problem is that once they go up over there where the grist mill is, there's that big 6-foot high dam. They can't get over it. So what does come down here is, remember, the fish hatchery is up river. So all of that trout that they're raising in the fish hatchery is going to eventually come down this way, the ones that don't get caught, the rainbow trout, the brook trout, the brown trout. And they're going to head right out into the ocean right over here. There's Long Island Railroad tracks. That's the Montauk line over there. And it goes right under. And then the main branch of the Connetquot flows all the way down into Great South Bay, into the ocean. So all that, what's called sea run trout, are going to try to come back and try to get upstream to try and go and spawn in their waters that they know by scent, and they can't because they can't get up that dam. So damn that dam. So we got to get a fish ladder on that dam so it can return all of these diadromous fish, the alewives, the trout, the striped bass, whatever is going to go upstream. So this is a very popular fishing spot because of all the fish that will come up. Striped bass will come up here. I've had reports of striped bass, bluefish being caught right in here because this is kind of brackish, slightly salty water. So, so this is the main branch, Connetquot River, and our last stop is going to be the East Brook at Rattlesnake, which is just down the road over here. So come along. Here's some more information here. You could pause it. I'll zoom in on a few of these good info here. There's trout fishing regulations. There is where the DEC stocks trout, brown trout, rainbow trout, brook trout, and another one for the stocking locations. I know this plastic is a little dirty, so it's a little hard to see, but if you want to zoom in on that QR code for the fishing regs, go for it. And there is all that info. Okay, let's go to our next. All right, so we're over here at Westbrook Brook, for lack of a better word. This waterway is in no way connected to the main branch of the Connetquot River, which is over there. This is the Western Brook. It starts as a spring about, I want to say, a mile, maybe 2 miles upstream. It just bubbles up from the ground, and it just keeps flowing south all the way down to here. Because when that water, groundwater, when that water table is high, you know, when it rains, a lot of snow melt, and there's a lot of flow of this water going down. So what's unique about this particular waterway here is that this flowed under, you can maybe hear the highway noise behind me. This flows under Sunrise Highway, and then it flowed into what was called Westbrook Pond. Now that dam, and I'm not sure of the history of that dam, but I want to say it was when this was all Southside Sportsman's Club about 100, 200 years ago. It was, this waterway was dammed to provide fishing opportunity for all the members. And that dam, about 2-3 years ago, gave way. So once that dam gave way, fish had free flow access to come all the way up into here. We're talking alewives, we're talking trout, we're talking striped bass, all of those diadromous fish that will spawn in fresh water, which is amazing for the ecosystem. That's what we want to see. We want to see the return of these ecosystems to what they naturally were, which is amazing. So in the spring, I'm going to come back. You're going to come along with me. We're going to see if we could spot any alewives coming upstream. So this is Westbrook. There is no dam. I'm going to show you at the outlet. We're going to have to go under Sunrise Highway, so I'll pick it up over there. But come along and we'll take it all the way down to where the dam let out. All right, so you can see Westbrook is over here. Sunrise Highway is over here. A lot of road noise. And Greenbelt and our path goes down here, these steps down to the under Sunrise Highway. So that was noisy. Jeez. All right, so Westbrook Pond over here. Westbrook starts as spring-fed aquifer all the way up about 1 or 2 miles, flows down right here under Sunrise Highway, and then what would have been Westbrook Pond, but the dam gave way, so now this is a free-flowing creek, and those diagamous fish can come all the way up and spawn right in here and even further down, which is amazing. So we're going to try to come back here in the spring and see if we spot any fish, because now it's early January and it's too cold. Though there might be some fish in there, but we're going to come back in the spring and see what it looks like in here. So let me turn you around and show you what it looks like here. So there's the Westbrook kind of flowing down over here. There's no dam, just a couple of rocks, nothing impeding fish, and then we go that way. And it's a little bit of low bridge. I'm 6'2", so I have to, this pipe, I have to go kind of under the pipe and then just kind of crouch down a little bit. But this is what we look like here. Then we go all the way out to the end there. So I'll see you at the other side. All right, we made it. I didn't hit my head either. So this is the outflow over here, and this used to be a lot higher because all of this over here was all a pond. So let me turn you around so you can kind of see all that water coming out. And there's really no dam over here, just a couple of rocks, and the fish can easily get over that rock. And then it just kind of flows out. Oh, I love you, Mom, till we meet again. And kind of flows that way. And then this all used to be a pond. This all used to be what's called Westbrook Pond. And all the way down at the other end was a dam that impounded all of this water. And once that dam let way, then the river, the Westbrook, was able to follow its natural course. So if you can see, it kind of does this little meandering because this course was originally here. And then once the water came in, it kind of submerged everything. But once that water dropped down, it just followed its original path and it just goes all the way down. Now, eventually, this is now coming into what's known as a meadow, but eventually this is all going to be a forest. We're going to get more trees growing and it's going to become a full forest. So we're going to take the path and go all the way down to the dam. So I'll see you at the dam. All right, dam. We made it to the dam. So right behind me is the Westbrook Dam that gave way a couple of years ago. And let me turn you around so you can see what Westbrook looks like now. So I remember when I came here years ago, all the water was all the way up to here. So this was a built pond area. And I imagine the history of why it was here was, I think it was part of the Southside Sportsman's Club, that this was impounded as a freshwater pond for bass, for walleye, for all that kind of freshwater fishing. But a couple of years ago, this dam, there was wood planks holding the water back, and the wood and the structure all gave way. And as it gave way, this entire pond was drained. So let me show you upstream and downstream. So this is going to be upstream over here. You kind of see and hear the water flowing. So this was, all of this was all filled in. And you can kind of see the meandering of Westbrook. And again, like I said, it follows the original path because this was all water. This was all filled in with water. And once that dam let go, all of that water just drained right out. So I don't see any fish. Again, it is kind of too cold, wintry for fish to be in here, but in the spring, we should see alewives right here as they head upstream. So there's Sunrise Highway all the way over there where we just left, and we walked all the way down here. And you can kind of see the white blazes off in the distance. The Greenbelt Trail goes that way. And then downstream, we get over here. So we're going to walk down there a little bit, but I don't want to have the camera on as I'm walking down there. The dam was right below us here. And this now continues all the way that way and connects with the main branch of the Connetquot River at what's called Bayard Cutting Arboretum. And that's going to be another one of our videos here when we do Bayard Cutting Arboretum. But this is tidal. So you can see it's kind of low tide. There's some mud flats on the side over here. So this is influenced by the tides, and this is brackish. So this is slightly salty. So let's go down over there and we'll see, we'll look upstream and look at the dam. Or more accurately, what's left of the dam, because the dam is gone. We're gonna try to get my footing over here so I don't fall in. But let me turn you around so you can see where the dam was and where it all gave way. So it all gave way right there. So there were blocks of wood that were kind of holding the water back, but now it just free flows. And that little bit right there, the fish can easily swim right over that, especially when the tide is up a little bit higher, which I believe it's low tide, I didn't check. And as I see a whole bunch of coins down in here, I guess people have thrown coins in. But anyway, the Westbrook comes down this way and goes out this way, flows all out. And when high tide comes in, the tide will kind of bring it up a little bit, and then it flows out that way right into the main brook of the Connetquot River and at Bayard Cutting Arboretum. So another video, we'll take a look in there. And that's the Westbrook. So we're gonna continue on to our other rivers, our other two rivers, and see what we can see. Okay, so now we're at, for lack of a better term, this is called, I would call this the East Brook. Again, this is it's no connection to the main Connetquot River. It starts up in about maybe half a mile up. And this is just a little brook that flows down under Sunrise Highway. And again, this area is called Rattlesnake Brook. And this was created by the Department of Transportation when they did the Oakdale merge. Fun fact, at this area years ago, I caught a really, I want to say at least 1.5 foot rainbow trout right here. It was really fun. So the water kind of meanders down and again comes around the other side of the main branch of the Connetquot River and connects to the Connetquot. So we'll do the same thing. There's a dam right over here. I'll turn you around. We'll see the upside and the downside of the stream. And there's a heron that we're going to try to capture. So let's see if we could get him in view here. But let me turn you around. So here's the dam that flows under Sunrise. Culvert pipe, whatever you want to call it, that flows under Sunrise Highway. I don't think there's a dam on this one, but we're going to go the upstream and take a look. I don't remember, but it does flow down this way, and then Long Island Railroad tracks are over here, flows down and connects to Sunrise Highway. So let me see if I could zoom in on that heron that's over there. I don't have to be too quiet because he can't hear me. I'm pretty far away. There he is. See him? There's a heron right there. It's kind of turning away there. It's turning to his left. And I don't think I'm going to try to zoom in anymore because my hands are a little shaky. But there he is. So let's zoom way back out. Okay, so let's go over to the upside. All right, so here's the upside of the dam. There's the culvert that goes under Sunrise Highway. There's Sunrise Highway, and this is kind of the service road at Sunrise Highway. And it flows under, goes all the way up. And again, this East Brook starts about a mile, maybe 1.5 miles upstream, flows right down here. There's not that much sun over here, so I can't see if there's any fish. But again, this is January, so I don't think there's any fish over here. It flows right down, goes up and over, and that is the downside of the stream. So let's take a look. Now we're on top of this little culvert over here. It's not a dam, so this is free flowing. And there's the heron all the way over there. There's Long Island Railroad. The train just came past. And water goes down and under and out into Great South Bay. All right, so we're going to end our video here. I want to thank you all for coming along on the journey. Don't forget those 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe. I'm on all the socials, and we try to do some new content once a week. And if you like this kind of content, come on along, drop some comments down in the comments section, and I'll see you on the next video. This is Tom from the Tom Parsley channel saying, see you on the next video.